Dos, forced to settle for a late point in the end. How do you assess that?
I think overall that was probably a fair result on the basis that we were down to 10 men for, 36 minutes. And they obviously had the goal and had great chances afterwards. I thought the boys defended for their lives in that last sort of 6-7 minutes. I think they felt a massive sense of injustice for many decisions during the afternoon. But they kept going. They got the point against a good Berkhamsted team that's really been in great form as well, beating Uxbridge 3-0 and Basingstoke and, going to Hungerford winning 3-0 away. So we knew that Berkhamsted would be a real threat today. They got a very, very good front four. Lacey's a player that I've always liked. But they're well coached, well managed, good side at this level. And, we've drawn against them both times. We got the 1-1 up there, they got the 1-1 here. And, we'll take it.
And just to touch back on, obviously, going down to 10 men, slightly controversial decision to send off Tommy Lee Higgs for that second yellow. It did look as though there was contact. How did you and the rest of the coaching staff assess that?
Well, I've just had probably 15 minutes with the referee. The referee's assessor is there with him, and I've got to say, fantastic from the referee to have the discussion with me. It was a man's discussion in there. I won't repeat it, but we were able to discuss it. I gave him my view, which is obviously different to his view. But ultimately, we've agreed to either improve or that he was right. And, let's see which one of those two comes about. But Tommy Lee Higgs should never, ever have been sent off. But his biggest issue is the first one was for dissent. So that's on Tommy, right? That's not on the referee. That's on Tommy. The second one, he's in his own half. He's knocked it past the player high. And the players come across him to block his path, and Tommy's taken a really evasive action, I think. And the worst case is the referee could look at him and go, Tommy, up you go. That's not an area of the pitch that you need to book someone for deceit, which is what he thinks he's being deceived. Well, it's not. Not in that area of the pitch, and not when you see how the fullback blocked Tommy's potential run. So, like I said, very grown-up conversation. I think that's because I'm getting older. But the referee, I thought, conducted himself excellently in there with his assistants and with his referee's assessor. And like I said, we've had a grown-up conversation.
Of course. And we did touch on the fact, obviously, the sending off changed the flow of the second half, and it was obviously invited more pressure on from Berkhamsted. Was there anything tactically you and Ross had to do differently after the red card to sort of amend what we were doing going forward?
Well, I think immediately you end up going to a 4-4-1. That's the first thing that happens. So you're light, you can't stop them really from building from the back. But we had a magnificent chance to go, 2-0 up with Jake McCarthy. I mean, one of the best crosses I've seen for a long, long time from Joe Roberts. And, Macca, that's egg and chips for Macca normally. But it's gone over the bar. But like I said, I think if you've been, like we've tried to be, always honest and fair assessment was that Berkhamsted had enough chances in that last 15, 20 minutes to get something out of the game. And in the end, to win it. So, the lads in there are okay with the point. I think they've worked hard for the point, and it's 15 games to go. And we probably need to get 9 or 10 wins out of those 15 to get into the playoffs, which is massively overachieving for this football club and where we're at. You've only got to look at the sides and the power of the sides and the size of the clubs in this league. And I think Berkhamsted and ourselves and Chertsey, are doing their very, very best to keep in there and keep going week after week. And as I said, I can be prouder of my team, and also, we're not perennial relegation fighters this year, which we have been for the first 2 seasons. It's a fantastic league for us. I think you've always be careful what you wish for as well. When you look at what's happening to teams that are in the Conference South that are really struggling financially because they're trying to keep up all the time. So, from our point of view, to be 6th, are we still 6th in this league?
Yes.
Okay, so to be 6th in this league with 15 games to go is, I think, a fantastic achievement. We're in the semi-finals of the Hampshire Senior Cup, a cup the club has never won before, as far as I know. Lots and lots of positives. If you take out, funny enough, if you take out the haven't last minute of the game, including injury time, you take out the last 3 minutes at Bracknell, and you take out the last couple of minutes today, we'd have got 8 more points, which would have put us, I think, on 50. And we'd probably be 4th or 5th, 3rd or 4th. So it's been cruel what's happened in the last 4 or 5 minutes of games. But we've had a small squad that's again today. We only had 3 people really fit enough on the bench. Vinny Toom failed a late fitness test, which is a real shame for us because he's a big player. And also Ricardo, Ricardo's got now a back issue. So Ricardo is now going to be leaving us just for this period of time, for February, March and April, to try and get himself fit, mentally fit as well. I think he needs to, he really needs help from us, which we've given him. So numbers have been tight. Jonesy's been out for a long time, just coming back. Jake Hesker's been out for 6 weeks, just coming back. Michael's had a really bad cold, this flu that everyone's had. So, as I said, we've had a fair bit going against us in that sense. And I think that's why I'm really proud of the 12 or 13 players that were able to get on the pitch today and, got a result from the game.
Of course. And touch on some more of the positives. James Roberts took his goal really well today. He's been a great addition. How pleased have you and Ross been with his addition to the squad?
I mean, James Roberts was a no-brainer for me. I know him so well, not only as a player, but as a person. I think he's a great character. He's very, very good in the dressing room. He's well liked in the dressing room, any dressing room that he's been in with me. And, when he rang me and said that he was able to leave Horsham, would I be interested? He's someone that immediately we would try and bring into the club because he will only make us better. I thought the ball from Harry Taylor I think the goal that we scored was up there as Premier League class. An amazing ball from Harry. But James's first touch and then to do that dink over the keeper was absolute quality. And like I said, honestly, if Maka had scored the obvious one from him from a brilliant cross, that would have been another brilliant goal. So, yeah, James has settled in so quickly. I think he's now played 4 games for us. Bearing in mind he hadn't played for nearly 12 weeks prior to coming. There's more to come from Robbo. He'll get better and better, but as I said, he's a great addition to the to the smallish squad that we've got, really.
Of course, and we touched earlier on today being a tough game. Berkhamsted in good form. Next week, no different. Home to Gloucester City, another team flying. Is it now just full focus ahead on that now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've got, we've now got a couple of free weeks to try and get some players back, which is always the case in football. We're no different to any other team at any league. Everyone suffers suspensions and injuries. We lose Tommy Lee Higgs next week, which is a blow. Because also, I think where we're really pleased is our young players. Roberts and Vinny Toom and Tommy Lee Higgs have really shone through this season. They're only 18. I think 18, 19 and 20. So, the youngsters are doing us proud as well. But Michael will definitely be fit and raring to go next week. And like I said, it's another tough game, but one we're really looking forward to. You're playing against a big club in Gloucester City that have got massive budget for this, for the level above. And if you can just complete, and which we are at the moment with these types of teams, Havant and Waterlooville's fantastic club. Look at their support base at Gloucester. So yeah, overall, as I said, very proud of the season so far. But 15 games to go. As I said, I think we need to probably win 9 out of those 15, 10 out of those 15. And that would see potentially, I think, an exciting playoff game.
Of course, just to finish up, the fans out in numbers again today, and as we touched on, tricky conditions, of course. Is it now just really hoping they're back here next weekend to push us on to hopefully get the 3 points against Gloucester?
I mean, listen, I think Southampton are away to Stoke on Saturday, so we're showing a Southampton-Stoke game at 12:30. Again, big appeal to any Saints fans out there that want to watch Saints at Stoke in a really great environment in the marquee, and then stay and watch a decent game of, their second side, really, a second Southampton side in Sholing. So we're hoping for a big crowd. We deserve a big crowd, I think. But just touching on, the little bits you think sometimes can go against you in football. That second half, that wind and that rain picked up to hurricane sort of, and we just, first half it just was almost, you didn't know which way the wind was going. As soon as the second half started, the rain drove in from that side and the wind drove in. So again, that's why I give even more credit to the players to come away with a 1-1 in those conditions with the little bits that we knew we were struggling with within the group. We didn't want to tell anyone. I think the players, again, deserve all of the credit today. And the supporters that, brave that weather, again, they know how much we always appreciate them. But if they can come in their numbers and bring friends and family and everyone next week, I think it could be a real good game.